Hey guys, this is Alex,
And my name's Jacob.
and we'll be casting this Game 3 from the quarterfinals of the Asus ROG Summer that happened this 2012. Introducing first in the bottom left corner, playing as the Blue Terran Liquid Taeja.
And up
And,
here in the top left, we've got Liquid Hero playing as the Protoss.
and going into this game, we are 1-1 after a very brutal game where Taeja, with some very nice Banshee harass, took apart the probe line of Hero. Do you think that it's likely on Entomb Valley that we'll see something similar? I really don't, based off of the way that they've spawned.
Right. I mean, obviously they don't know where the other person is spawned, but with just such huge map distances, it's hard to have enough time to get that out before it's scouted. So it's pretty rare, I'd say, to see really cheesy plays on such big maps. Not that the Banshee plays are cheesy, but just in general.
Right. And that 1-1-1 was very strong last time, but this time we'll see if Taeja wants to go with a more standard build where he goes for the early expansion.
And now, of course, this cast is going to be for Day 9's casting call for the AHGL, as well as Xander Fever's Casting Academy that was posted to Reddit earlier this week. And we just want to let you guys see what we have to offer and let us know what you think.
Absolutely, and we look forward to doing many more of these casts in the future. Whether it's for hopefully for y'all, and if it's not for you guys, then obviously for ourselves, so we can try to improve our skills.
Absolutely.
Any critiques are welcomed.
Now we've got the scout here from Hero. You'll actually see Taeja pulls that SCV from the building. That was simply just to stop the scout from getting into his base to see what he's up to.
Very effective, very effective. And he's really, we don't see the early gas like we saw in the previous game, and it's very likely we're just going to see an early expansion. The minerals are starting to build up.
You can see Taeja here starting to collect some minerals for himself as his orbital command begins. Hero, of course, is going with the pretty much only Protoss opening you can do, where you get your gas at 14, gateway, cybernetics 4. Now, a lot of times, last game especially, we saw Hero go for a much earlier gas, so this is probably going to be an early expansion build from him as well.
Now we see the 400 minerals start, and then we immediately see the command center flop down in the top part of Taeja's base. We see the pylon in the back of Hero's base. Now I'm not a Protoss player myself. Is that so he can put tech there later to hide it, or is that so that later on he can warp in there if necessary, or what is the purpose of that pylon in the little top portion of Hero's main?
Honestly, it's kind of just something that Protoss players do. They want to get the pylon built as quickly as they can and not keep the probe off the mineral line, so a lot of times you'll see it just plops back there. It's good if you want to put some tech behind your mineral line, such as like your Twilight Councils and different things like that, but that does kind of make you vulnerable to stuff like Banshee harasses.
Right, right. Behind this expansion from Taeja, back down on his corner, we see two expansions, or not, pardon me, not two expansions, that would be literally insane. We see two barracks to follow up his initial one as he gets to work on that neutral supply depot. And the first bunker's coming down.
His refinery is also being done, so he's going to be getting some gas here to begin his factory as well as his upgrades for his Marines.
Some double gas there. See the upgrades starting pretty soon.
Now,
a robotics facility.
This, a proxy robotics facility. So I don't know if he's just trying to hide. I mean, I don't really know what you would do.
It's got to be for something
it's
real.
It's gonna be a warp gate, or not? Excuse me, a warp prism. I wonder if he's trying to get an early warp prism out, and then he's just gonna warp right into his base. Let's check on his warp gate timing. Look at this, 4 gates. So he's just going for an old-fashioned 4 gate with a warp prism play for the proxy pylon. This is going to be interesting.
I'm really excited about this one. I'm curious to see. He's going to bypass that bunker at the front line, get right into his base, and I'm real curious.
No idea. I mean, I don't even think he would. I mean, no one would scout this in a regular scenario. He thinks that he's going for a macro play right now.
That's crazy. Now, and we see that the command center has been long done. Orbital command now set. He's going to saturate his main before he goes ahead and places that command center down. No expansion from Hero, obviously, with this proxy tech here. We're going to see some warp prism. And is this an all-in? Would you call this an all-in with this?
This is as close as you can get to an all-in without pulling your probes, essentially. Because if this fails, then the game is over. But it's going to be interesting. Here it comes. Here's the drop. He's going straight for that stim pack research.
The Marines, let's see how quickly he's ready. Marines are on their way, but here comes the first warp in, and they are right in there, going to make stim cancel. All the SBs pull.
And the damage has been done. Is this warp prism going to be able to get away here? Alright, let's take a look at some of the numbers.
The damage has been
10 workers
done.
killed. As well as that stim pack resource getting delayed, which is a huge, huge upgrade for any Terran player.
No, that's incredible. I really was curious as to how successful that could possibly be, but it looks like he made it work.
He's going in again. Well, looks like he pulled back. Those Marines were in position to finish it off. He's got the observer here, so he can do that for some spotting to see what the best scenario is for him. And here he goes. All right, let's see what he can do here.
And we'll see what
Cancels
goes
that
on.
bunker, and then
With
he's
these
right out of
Marines
there.
in place, it might be a little bit dangerous, but
Take a look at that health bars here. You can see
wow.
not quite taking any hull damage on this warp prism. Now behind this, hero is expanding. He's got pylons in place at the front here, and it looks like he's going to try to see if he can bust this front down.
The longer this goes on, though, you gotta believe that the fact that Taeja has a second base up is going to become a really big.
He's getting to produce SCVs 2 at a time. Already with those 10 workers lost, he's already gotten an SCV lead again. And of course, with mules, his economy is not going to fall very far behind. So Hero really needs to make something else happen here.
No, I'm really, I was excited about it at first. The real big problem is going to end up being that, he's just going to be out macro. There's going to be too much economy from Taeja unless he does significantly more damage, because 32 SCVs to 30 probes is not just that, it's the mules on top of that, and he's getting those 2 at a time as well. And that's, it leads to a really significant mineral lead.
Now, what's going to be interesting to see is Hero's kind of gotten a contained setup from this, so Taeja's, because that stim pack is still only halfway done, and it's been delayed so far, Taeja really can't go out from his base because the Marines will just get force fielded away and be killed by this base. And it looks like he's going to go in for the push here. Oh no! All of his Marines are inside. This might be it.
Oh wow! Well, what he did was really smart. He brought the warp prism forward.
Right,
to
he
draw the
sacrificed the
units
warp
back
prism.
into the main, and here comes a lot of damage going to be coming from
all of these
Liquid
SCVs
Hero.
could potentially be destroyed here, and none of these Marines can actually do a thing. There's
all the
nothing
mining is
Taeja
stopped.
can do. He's trying to save his SCVs with this medevac. Looks like Hero's not going to push it.
He doesn't want to get close enough to get into the range of the Marines in that high ground, but really just making that lift off and preventing the mining is almost enough to justify.
Nice the observer there. It was a nice play from Taeja. So you can see he only killed another couple of workers. The worker lead, I believe, still favors Taeja at this point, but he's only mining on 1 base now.
It's almost as if it might as well be halved, because that's about as much SCVs that are mining now.
Right, absolutely.
Now we have a drop coming over on the left-hand side, an 8 Marine drop, trying to make something happen for Taeja here.
Keep an eye on that and see what happens. Looks like he's about to bust right up this ramp. The Immortal is there, and then here comes the drop. Gonna be able. Okay, and Hero immediately pulls those probes, and it looks like he's going for it. Oh, and those Marines are all force fielded away. Hero is destroying them. SCVs are pulled. More force fields.
So much damage being done, but the Marines, they're so spread out. The Zealots are now behind the behind the force fields, and honestly, the Immortals aren't going to be producing that much damage against the Marines, and he is tearing through this with the SCVs, and Hero forced to pull back. His entire army is decimated. Here comes the reinforcing Zealots, but it may be too little, too late.
Now you can
position micro. Oh, beautiful.
You can actually see the Marines at Hero's base have managed to completely destroy his expansion.
Oh wow, that's insane.
Oh, and he's having to pull SCVs off the line.
Oh.
There's nothing he can do against these Marines. He's losing all of his probes.
No, he's going to run right into the Marines. It's nothing. There's nothing. Workers killed. 35.
Oh my gosh.
35.
I thought Hero had it in the bag.
It looked so good for Liquid Hero, but in the end, the planning and the micro and the positioning of Taeja's army and his base was so good.
Wow, and
40 supply to 13. Oh wow!
I would have loved to see that live. That was outrageous.
That's insane. And to think that the entire time Taeja, pardon me, Hero was so concerned with pushing that front. I'm sure that all his warplanes were going in there, and those 8 Marines by themselves were able to take out that
completely,
base.
completely destroy his base. And I'm just surprised. I mean, he had the forge. He could have made some form of static defense at home, like a few photon cannons, and the game would have been his. But I guess with he was focusing
And, really,
all.
would it have been? Because the big thing was is that he brought everything. He brought everyone up for that push into his
Right.
main. And with those immortals ended up not really doing anything. There wasn't any marauders in that composition. It was just
It's
Marines.
just he would have been
And,
better off with more zealots.
right. Some zealots or even stalkers, honestly, would not have been a bad choice there. Not that
Absolutely.
he didn't have a lot of stalkers. He had plenty. But really, just supplementing with those immortals with anything else, I think, might have changed the way that went.
Taeja looks like he's going to advance to the next round. Well, that
No,
game was absolutely awesome.
game in this series. There is one more game in the
Is
series.
there one more?
It's a best of 5, I believe. So this is
Gotcha.
2-1 for Taeja
So
going into game 4.
that was outrageous. Well, I hope you guys like the cast. We're going to be doing more of these in the future, so keep your eyes out. And we will, like I said, we'll be sending this one to both Day9 and to Xander Fever. So thanks for stopping by, guys.